The desert had a way of stripping men down to their truth. By the time the sun began its slow descent behind the red cliffs of the Arizona Territory, Caleb Ward had been riding for 3 days without rest. His lips were cracked, his throat burned, and every muscle in his body ached with the dull pain of survival. The land around him stretched endlessly: dust, stone, thorny shrubs, and silence so heavy it pressed against his chest. Caleb trusted that silence more than people. Once, long ago, he had trusted men. Once, he had worn a uniform and believed in orders, flags, and promises. That belief had been buried alongside his younger brother in an unmarked grave somewhere east of the Rio Grande. Since then, Caleb rode alone, hunting bounties, tracking fugitives, and selling his skills to whoever paid in gold, not loyalty. His horse, Ash, slowed as the terrain grew rocky. Caleb pulled the reins gently, scanning the horizon. Tracks fresh. Too many. Soldiers. He cursed under his breath. The frontier was crawling with them lately. Search parties, patrols, men with rifles and fear in their eyes. They were hunting Apache bands, blaming them for raids, stolen cattle, burned settlements. Guilt was no longer necessary. Suspicion was enough. Caleb turned Ash toward a narrow canyon, hoping to disappear before nightfall. That was when he heard her. "Wait." The voice cut through the wind like a blade. Ash snorted nervously, hooves scraping stone. Caleb swung his rifle up instantly, heart hammering. From behind a jagged rock formation stepped a woman. Apache. Her posture was straight, proud despite exhaustion. Her dress was torn, dust-covered. A shallow cut marked her cheek, dried blood tracing her jaw. Dark hair fell in thick braids over her shoulders, decorated with feathers and bits of leather. Her eyes, sharp, unyielding, locked onto his. She raised her hand slowly. "I am not armed," she said in halting English. Caleb didn't lower his rifle. "You shouldn't be here," he said. "This land is crawling with soldiers." A bitter smile touched her lips. "I know." She took one careful step forward. "They killed my people." Caleb felt nothing stir in his chest. He had heard such words too many times, from settlers, from natives, from widows on both sides of the gun. "Go back," he said. "I don't carry passengers." "There is no back," she replied. The wind picked up, swirling dust between them. Caleb studied her carefully. She was young, but her eyes carried an age shaped by loss. Not fear, anger, grief, resolve. "What do you want?" he asked. She hesitated, then looked at the horse. "Take me with you," she said quietly. "On your horse." Caleb laughed once, harsh and humorless. "You think I'm that foolish?" Her jaw tightened. "Listen to me." "I don't listen to Apache women begging in the desert," he snapped. She stepped closer anyway, her voice lowering. "I will give you something no woman can give you." That made him pause. Caleb had heard promises before: money, loyalty, love. They all rotted in the end. He met her gaze, suspicious. "And what is that?" he asked. "Your life," she said simply. The desert seemed to go still. She turned her head slightly, listening. Caleb followed her gaze instinctively. Distant echoes, faint but unmistakable. Hooves. Voices. Soldiers. "They track you," she continued. "You crossed sacred ground without knowing. They saw your trail near the river. By morning, they will surround you." Caleb felt a chill despite the heat. He prided himself on his tracking skills. Being followed without noticing unsettled him. "You expect me to trust you?" he asked. She met his stare without blinking. "Trust the land." "I know it. You do not." Silence stretched between them. Finally, Caleb lowered the rifle. "Get on," he muttered. Her eyes widened, not in triumph, but relief. He reached down, pulling her up behind him. She was light, her grip firm as she held onto the saddle. Ash moved forward, hooves quickening as the canyon swallowed them. They rode through twisting rock corridors as the sky darkened to purple. The Apache woman leaned close, whispering directions. "Left. No, wait. Now." Caleb followed without question. Several times, voices echoed dangerously close. Once, a lantern's glow passed less than 20 yards away. The woman pressed herself against Ash's side, barely breathing. Caleb felt her heartbeat through her hands, fast but steady. She did not panic. They rode until the moon rose high, silver light spilling across the desert. Finally, she signaled for him to stop. "Here," she said. They dismounted near a cluster of boulders that concealed a narrow passage. She led Ash through, guiding them to a hidden ravine invisible from above. Caleb exhaled slowly. "You were right." She nodded. "My name is Naya." He hesitated. "Caleb." They shared water in silence. The night air cooled the sweat on his skin. For the first time in days, he felt the edge of danger recede. "Why were they hunting you?" he asked finally. Naya stared into the darkness. "Because I would not leave my land. Because my brother fought back. Because we exist." Caleb understood more than he wanted to admit. At dawn, they continued. Naya guided him through ancient paths, dry riverbeds that hid tracks, stone corridors that echoed false trails. She knew where the ground swallowed footprints, where wind erased signs. "You walk like a soldier," she said at one point. "I was," he replied. She glanced at him. "You left." "They left me first." 4 days, they traveled together. Each night, they shared fire and stories. Naya spoke of her people, their songs, the spirits of the mountains. Caleb spoke little, but when he did, it was of loss, his brother, the war, the lies that sent men to die. "You carry ghosts," Naya said one night. "So do you," he replied. She nodded. "But I do not let them ride my horse." Their bond grew not from affection, but respect. She never begged again. He never questioned her guidance. On the 7th day, they reached a high plateau overlooking a vast valley untouched by roads or fences. Green, alive. Naya stopped. "This is where I leave you," she said. Caleb frowned. "You can't stay here alone." "I am not alone," she replied, touching the earth. "My people will find me." He looked at her, truly seeing her now, not as a fugitive, not as a guide, but as a survivor shaped by fire. "You were right," he said quietly. "You gave me something no woman ever has." She waited. "A future," he finished. Naya smiled softly. They did not promise to meet again. They did not speak of tomorrow. The desert did not care for promises. Caleb mounted Ash and rode east, carrying with him more than survival, carrying understanding. Behind him, Naya watched until he disappeared into the horizon, then turned toward the land that knew her name. The desert breathed on.